They understand. So, mo ti gbé but just to buttress nǹkan tí wọ́n sọ ní ìsìn ni pé ewé tó bá lọ sókè ó lè máa affect me. Though mo try pé ó máa kan àwọn nǹkan tá a gbìn tó fi ń jáde. But mo discover pé after some times tí mo padà lọ síbẹ̀ mo rí pé àwọn pákí kọ̀ọ̀kan àwọn ebèbí méjì wà tí mo tó ti dry ó jóná. Torí pé ìnìyẹn bóyá torí pé ewé wọn kọlẹ̀ I don't know. But mo discover pé àwọn àgbàdo tó wà ń bẹ̀ wọn ò kú. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọn ò kú.
Lẹ́nu ẹ̀ pé kájẹ̀ díẹ̀ akíákíá ó yàtọ̀ sí ìdájẹ́ àbùsà. Kájẹ̀ díẹ̀ when we are talking of something like a gravity, systemic àbùsà. Systemic and contact. Contact, akíákíá, systemic, ajẹ́jẹ́. But pre-emergent, the importance of pre-emergent, to dormant the wheat seed. Just to dormant the wheat seed. For example, I'm going to grass. When you planted your grass, to back the turn, your emergency for good 4-5 weeks. The wind can come to my garden. So we believe the next 3 weeks, Oyeki, root emerge that day. So until any wind ground one bed, so that dormant among crop in Lati use root, harvest a bullet, acid that. Oyato see emergence habitat. And if you go through this, we have another emergent habitat which is 2,4-D. 2,4-D is only per plant, but we take only the broad leaves. Conifer, anything related to grass. We only just take care of the broad leaf. I will go broad leaf to at any grass, don't relate more broad leaf. Teba lo 2,4-D. But teba no grass. There's a help grass in it. There's a fertilizers in it. Thank you.
Now, so they'll talk about pre-emergence, they'll talk about post-emergence herbicide. They are applied after weeds has emerged. That's that's when you apply them. And we have 2,4-D. That's an example. And we are talking about herbicides. We are talking about herbicides used in cereal crops. So we have talked about the first one is pre-emergence. That's before weed emergence or before seedling emergence. And the second one is post-emergence. That's after your weeds. You can apply them. So we have selective herbicide and non-selective herbicide. We are talking about it in terms of our particular questions here. So we have selective herbicide. They are the herbicide that kill specific weeds without harming the target crop. Example, when you maize, that's some herbicide that will you target a particular crop and they will not kill other crops. So like you can use T4D, and that atrazine too is also a selective herbicide that you can use. When you use it on your maize farm, it will kill all other weeds on your farm, but it will not affect your maize seedling. So we have non-selective. This one it kills everything on your farm. I think if it touches anything on your farm, it kills everything. An example is glyphosate. Anything growing on your field. Everything. It kills everything. Then we also have contact herbicide and systemic herbicide. Contact is not but it kills weeds on contact. See the spray. Then we also have example is paraquats and diquats. And the other one is systemic herbicide. The It's absorbed by the plant and then moved throughout its vascular system, killing the entire plant. At the root or everything, if it touches this, it kills everything. An example is, even in that one. Okay, sorry, but eventually it kills everything. It goes to the root and kills everything. And so even in that we have non-selective and selective. The selective is then that non-selective. In that systemic that we have 240, we must select àwọn ètò fẹ́ kópa, ara pa nǹkan tí o fẹ́ kópa, á fi nǹkan tí o fẹ́ kópa sí systemic. That is all we have about types of herbicides. Do you have any question?
That is systemic matter. Which one is selective?
240. Example for example of 240.
Question here, ma'am. Yes.
Do you have fertilizers
Fertilizer that acts as herbicide. Yes. All fertilizers are herbicides. Except manure. Sorry. Manure can have herbicide. Yes. No, okay. Do you know how fertilizer act as herbicide? Huh? All fertilizers, even including manure. If you apply fresh manure to any farm, fresh manure, whatever you apply it on, everything will die off. That is how it acts as herbicide. And if you go and apply urea, you know urea is for crop to grow. But you look at your crop and you place it just at the base of the crop. Allow it to touch all the crops that you planted. You will know that it's that as herbicide. Everything will wipe off. Do you know why? Now, the concentration of the chemical. The concentration of the chemical in that fertilizer is highly toxic to plant when it gets to it. But when it is well diluted in the soil, when it has absorbed a lot of water that the root can absorb, then it's not harmful to the plant. Am I understood now? That is why we teach you that if you want to apply, by the time we come to crop management, you will be told. But if you want to apply fertilizer to your crop, whether by broadcasting, whether by rig method, whether by spot method, you must not allow it to get in touch with any of the crop that you have planted. If your manure is well cured, how do you know that the manure is well cured? That is another topic entirely. And I will tell you now. For you to know that manure is well cured, whether poultry manure, whether rabbitry, whether goat, pig, cow dung, or whatsoever, if you take your manure and it's still smelling, just 1 minute.
Sorry. Ọpẹ́mípọ̀ Adúróyè. Ọpẹ́mípọ̀ Adúróyè. Victoria Ọmọwùmí. Victoria Ọmọwùmí. Zainab Mukaila. Zainab Mukaila. Mi ò mọ̀ tó difficult láti sọ̀rọ̀. Ìlọ́rọ̀ lè ní Sunday.
Please, when they call your name. Yes, sir. Present.
Don't you have officer?
I am here.
Down. Now,
Yeah.
Felicia Bankole, Samuel Akeju.
Yeah, we are.
I want to also establish that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you said what we are trying to do is this. If someone has a poultry farm, and we want to take the poultry waste to our plants. Now, can we take a fresh poultry waste?
That is where I'm going.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, I told you, I said whether manure, whether fertilizer, they can act as herbicide. Huh? Even if it's poultry manure, it can act as herbicide. Do you believe that? Good. I was telling you that if we want to apply either manure to any of the crops, I've mentioned about 5 or 6 manure now. Rapid tree, poultry, cow dung, sheep and goat, cattle, pig, 6. Those are the common ones. Now I said, if you want to apply those manure to your crop, there are some specific things you must know, whether they are cured that can be applied or not. One, if they are still smelling, whether pig manure or whatsoever, if it is still smelling, please don't apply. It's not ready. Number 2, it may not be smelling. It may not be smelling, but if you hold it in your hand and you drop it and it sticks to your hand, the guy is a bear lover. Only man, she won't she bear lover. Man is dangerous, very, very dangerous. Let me tell you why it is dangerous. I want disease kan wà lára manure ni. Tó bá kan ara plant has big disease and it will affect what you are planting. Aside from the fact that tó bá kan lára is still highly toxic and bad. That is true, isn't it? I've talked about smelling, I've talked about sticking to your hand. If you hold it and you mold it in your hand, and you open your hand and it doesn't break, when that mold doesn't break, don't use it. It's not cured enough. Ó lè má bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ́wọ́, má tó bá dì í mú, tó fọ́ọ̀mù bọ́ọ̀lù tí ò tú, má lò ó, kò tí ì ṣe é lò. Reason is that tó bá dì í mú, tó di papọ̀, tó fi sí the plant tí ò tú, it's going to kill your plant. Now, that is another one. Another one is, if you take your manure and you have practiced all those, if you just hold it and you form a ball of earth and it breaks, but yet your hand is still sticky, don't use it. Am I okay now? How do you know that it's well cured? Kò gbọdọ̀ lè bá yàn lọ́wọ́, kò gbọdọ̀ jẹ́ ẹni ọ̀tọ̀ yẹ pé tó bá dì í mú, tó bá ti dìpọ̀ kò lè tú. No, they are not manure. Now we say, tó bá yẹ pé òun kánjú láti lò ó, tó bá ti lọ kó manure ẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ lọ spread it for some days. Go serve for some days. Otherwise, you must wait for nothing less than 3 months. Yes. So back home and your 1 year. It's still very much okay for you. 2 years. So back it's okay for you. And you go to my back. Anywhere you see that they drop this animal dung, even if they heap it up for the past 5 years, go and look at the plant that surrounds it. How does it look like? Huh? They grow vigorously. Now, you cannot take enough to apply to plants. Let me say that for you now. We recommend that you take about 20 tons to 1 hectare of land. 20 tons. How many trailer loads? Yeah? And now, if you want to pay for a trailer load from here to a job, you know how much you are going to pay. More than 200,000. That's the trailer load from here to a job. So, you cannot apply enough if you have access to manure close to your farm, just keep applying to your farm. Don't say it is too much. You are going to gain it. If it is too much, you notice from the vegetative growth of the plant. Am I understood? Those of us that are in the farm, I have a small ugu in my house, and I read some wrapping. If you want to know that one is excess, it's only going to produce leaf for you, no food. That shows the nitrogen content is very high. So if you are after fruit, you don't apply too much. Am I understood now? So that is just about the use of manure. And again, please, anywhere you have access to manure, don't use it to raise your seedling direct. Don't use it to raise your what? Your seedling direct. Why? It contains a lot of weeds, a lot of pathogens. Did you teach them about soil sterilization? Huh? Okay. Again, I will take you back. She needs to have informed you on something about nursery. Actually, we are teaching you on cereals, isn't it? But nevertheless, we must not circumvent what we are doing in Nairobi. That is why we have to take you around to see some areas. Unfortunately, you will not get the vegetable section. This is it. Did you? Yes. You have this and aspect. You are not in the place. But where I'm going is this. I don't know of rice. I don't know if they sterilize the soil of the nursery. But when you deviate to other crops like fruits and vegetables, especially vegetables, you want to raise tomato seedlings. If you want to raise tomato seedling, pepper seedling, and the like in the nursery, you must sterilize your soil. You must do what? How do you sterilize soil? There are diverse ways of sterilizing soil. How many of us are in vegetable production here? Our will have been tomato. Our will have been in greenhouse. How many of us have worked in greenhouse before? Greenhouse? Good. How do you sterilize your soil to raise your seedlings? Or you use
One minute, sir. Sorry, hold on, please. Victoria Adebi. Victoria Adebi. Anna Adekomi. Anna Adekomi. Margaret Joseph. Margaret Joseph. Rashid Olariwaju. Benjamin Abiola.
Actually, what I do is I have this very big pot. I want to use what I commonly use to cook rice or patty. So I get the soil from dumping site. So I sieve it, and I heat the soil like it's very hot, like suggested I can boil.
Okay, get it down.
Suggested you can boil yam, like it's very hot. I let it stay there for hours, for 4 hours. Then I spread it. So after I spread the salt, but before doing that, I try to get this thing. There's this tree called Agumani. I don't know the name of it. So I cut down the stem, the tiny stem, and so the leaf particularly. So I put in a certain drum, those two drums, but I have about 2 of them. So I let it decay, rot, and I kind of. So after spreading the sand, the soil, so to speak, so then I sprinkle it on it and mix it up together. So that's how I prepare my.
Thank you. That is one means of sterilizing soil. If you want to go into tomato or pepper production, because you may leave this place and find yourself in where they grow tomato or vegetables, cucumber, and the likes. To sterilize soil, you need 3 major things. 1, virgin land soil. You go to the forest and take some topsoil, we call it topsoil. You bring it out, you look for manure, you bring it out, and you look for either gutter sand or river sand. You mix them up, half for topsoil, 1/4 for river sand, and 1/4 for manure. When you mix them up very well, you can pour them in a drum, like as earlier stated, and you set fire. You make sure it is moist, and you heat them up. If you heat it up, you ensure that if you put yam inside, that yam must be well cooked before it is surely certain that the soil is sterilized. After the sterilization, you remove the fire or you quench the fire, allow it to cool down. The second day, it is used, whether in tray or you put it on soil or wherever you might put it, so that you can sow your seedling. The organic manure inside it will enhance the early growth of those seedlings. And again, the gutter sand or the river sand that you added to it is to act as buffer so that it will be loose enough for root penetration, while the topsoil contains both organic manure and enhance the anchorage of the plant. These are things that you do to ensure that every seedling comes up vigorously. And again, it's not only for those crops alone, but because we are preparing them to go to the field, the vigor they take from the nursery, that is what they will continue with when they are on the field, whether the nutrient content of the soil is little low or not. So I think we are moving forward. Thank you. We can continue.
Thank you, sir. Sir, please, 2,4-D as a selective chemical. Please, what type of crops are selective under this chemical?
I think 2,4-D should be on grass. Am I right? Yeah. Yes. When you apply it, it kills all the grass and leaves all the broad leaves. Huh? Sorry. Okay, it kills broad leaves and leave the grass. There is another one that kills only the grass and leave the broad leaves.
And again, when you get to where and it's always so that's why we said you should always follow. That's why we said you should always follow their instruction. Whatever they say here, follow the instruction and don't do more than what they ask you. Can we go on? Any other question? Okay, so when you are applying your fertilizer, make sure that the soil is wet. Don't apply fertilizer when there is no rain. If there is no rain, make sure your crop, your soil is irrigated before you apply fertilizer. Don't apply fertilizer on dry soil. So what we talk of basal fertilizer application, ring method, then broadcasting. Basal fertilizer application. Who wants to help us out? Basal fertilizer application. Yes, basal. BASAL. Fertilizer. BASAL. Basal. I didn't say this you're talking about the basal. Basal can be sideless. But the most important thing is what you apply before planting. You apply it before planting, whether your seed or your seedling. That is what they call basal. This is they apply fertilizer at the planting time when you want to plant. So like if you want to basal application is assuming you want to apply, you want to transplant. You are transplanting your seedling and you want to apply fertilizer. If you are applying organic fertilizer or inorganic fertilizer, then you make a plant about a seedling about it's my quantity, but not the fair apply. A crop seedling, a work over the soil. Seedling is, and if it is inorganic to inorganic, you apply it to the soil, cover it up, then you plant. Do you get it? That's what we call basal.
Planter. Immediately, that planter, that comes, he has the container for the fertilizer and for the seed. The moment they were planting, the something was applying this. On top of it, wait, on the same line. I want to ask that, is that basal?
That's basal, yes. Basal is applying it before you plant. You can be size, you can be inside. Before you apply it, more color, a lot of this here. You need to be how much? But you have to cover it with soil before putting it in. So that's what we call basal fertilizer. Just make sure you cover it because they are covered with soil. Fertilizer plant plant. So then we have ring method. Ring method, that's the method of applying fertilizer to our soil or to our crops. Ring method, who wants to help us on that? Ring method. Okay.
Ring method is when the plant has germinated and you will not allow the fertilizer to touch the plant. We just put it down.
Okay. Circular. So it's a method of applying fertilizer in a circular band around the plant. Usually 5 to 10 centimeters away from the plant. So sometimes then you now cover it back. I want you to cover it. I want me to cover it. What do you think happens when we cover it? Okay, I like that. Should we cover it or should not cover it? We should cover it, but some people don't cover it and it is still okay. So what happens if you don't cover it?
It is essential we cover fertilizer with soil after the application to prevent the explosion of this nutrient in the atmosphere.
Okay. Any other reason? Why we should cover? She has said one reason. Can you say like that? Did you get what the reason she told you? She said, no. I like her saying it again.
I said it is essential we cover the fertilizer with soil after applying to prevent the explosion of this nutrient to the atmosphere, so that our plants will be able to utilize it. What you take is tí a bá apply a máa cover ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú yẹ̀pẹ̀ torí pé àwọn nutrients yìí afẹ́fẹ́ gas àwọn kan tó fi ṣe gas ni so afẹ́fẹ́ ó máa gbé wọn kò ní jẹ́ kó lè wúlò fún plant wa.
Another reason. Who wants to say another reason? Who wants to
Pressure there is rainfall.
Okay.
So rain can wash away the fertilizer if we don't cover the yes, the waste our resources.
Not just. Okay, so we have Kini first method now also. Okay, second method. Then what other method? We have broadcasting. Broadcasting method. How long is the broadcasting method? What am I for the plants here? Sorry, show my sumo, do the sumo. Kò ní súnmọ́ púpọ̀ so that tó bá súnmọ́ kí ló máa ṣẹlẹ̀ sí. So when it is too close it will affect the plants as in plants. So that is broadcasting method. And then we also have into a large acres of land. You can get a spreader to help you broadcast. So when we broadcast our city, kí ló máa ṣẹlẹ̀? Kí ni nǹkan tó advantage àti disadvantage when you broadcast? Our fertilizer. So yes. Oh yeah.
As many times when we do broadcasting, one thing we noticed, we have loss of plants because at the process of we spreading, it can touch the plants, and once it has a contact with the plants, definitely it dies. So this is one of the disadvantages. And second disadvantage is, at most times, it doesn't give us the requirements of we applying it, because we have different people with different ideas. You might know how to do it, and the next person decides to do myself, I also know how to do it. Just idea. But when it comes to practical and the expectation, what we're expecting is not what we see. So this is the reason why, to me, I do not go with broadcasting.
Hold on, please. Sorry. I just inside the one. Àwọn tá a fẹ́ pè yìí àti gbẹ̀rúkọ wọn tẹ́lẹ̀ lára àwọn tó wà ní waiting list. but àárín wọn àtúfẹ́ tún wọn pè bóyá àwọn tó bá mọ̀ wọ́n lè bá wa get across sí wọn. It's very very important kan wá síbí lẹ́yìn. Olúwafẹ́mi Adésínà, Olúwafẹ́mi Adésínà, Victor